guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
The OG edition of Write That Down. The only show in America going back a decade that actually puts statistics next to our predictions every single Wednesday, where we admit how wrong we are. It's Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd. Tomorrow night, before we get into the accountability session and the predictions here, a reminder that Purple Daily, we're going to hold I think it's our 4th ever Unplugged event, Purple Daily Unplugged, at Blackstack Brewing in St. Paul. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, March 13th, from 5 to 7 p.m. It's free to get in. You can just wander in, but we do ask that you grab a ticket or at least register at scorenorth.com/PD Unplugged. scorenorth.com/PD Unplugged. I believe we're over 100 now. And so we want a head count so we can give you all a free Purple Daily Blackstack pint glass and just kind of know for seating and whatnot. But it'll be a free agency recap edition of Purple Daily Unplugged. Register for Blackstack, Purple Daily Unplugged, scorenorth.com/PD Unplugged. All right, boys. We got some free agency stuff lingering. We got some other predictions. Here's how it works if you are new to Write That Down. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate like our guy Tim is about to, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. Judd, we'll start with you here. We'll waste no time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't love this. Don't love this at all.
We'll start with the red here. You said there'll be a credible report that the Wild inquired about Sidney Crosby at the trade deadline.
I was trying to make this happen.
You said Sidney Crosby will be traded at some point this NHL season. Yeah, you really wanted Crosby.
Well, yeah, because he's on Pittsburgh's hopeless. I want to see Sidney in the playoffs.
Not going to happen this year, it looks like. I think we can take this off the board now. You said Ricky Rubio, before the end of the 2024-25 season, will attempt a comeback in the NBA.
That's old.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just snuck on a roster here right at the end of the season?
I'd be happy for him.
Be happy.
He always seemed like such a good guy.
And you said the Wild will trade for a player who hasn't played in a minor league game this season. They did. Who's our? They traded for what's his name
Gustav?
on Friday?
Was it Goose? No, I think Nyquist was before.
No. They traded for. I'm going to find his name on the roster here. Justin Brazeau.
Yeah, that guy right there, Brazeau. Yep, he has not played in a minor league game.
Yeah. He's very he probably should have, but I'll take the point, especially after a rough week.
So congratulations.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Nice little week for old Macadac here. This was a 3-game parlay technically, which means it's a home run. I said by this week's Write That Down, the Wolves would have a 5-game winning streak, that they would essentially win those 3 games over this last week. And they did. They beat teams that they were supposed to beat.
Imagine that.
And then, much to Judd's chagrin, I said the Timberwolves will throw out a starting 5 once everyone becomes healthy again of Conley, Ant, Jaden, Julius, and Gobert at some point before the end of the regular season.
Yes.
They did, and it was dominant.
It was good.
And they'll probably do it again tonight.
You know what? I should have amended my bitching to say this. I'm okay with that if you're going to use 9 to 10 guys. Okay. I felt like that. I felt like the starters suppressed the rest of the team or too much of it. It did not in the last game. So I actually can amend my complaint a little bit to say I'm okay with this because at the end of the day, I believe before the game got out of hand, it was 10 guys had played.
Yeah. Okay. You know, I'll take your amendment into consideration.
I'll back off.
The listeners had a rough week here. Phil from last week said Rob Dillingham would drop 20 or more on the back-to-back with Conley sitting out. Charlie had a free agency parlay. Vikings acquire Milton Williams or sign Milton Williams. Did not happen. He also said he had moves for the Wolves and the Wild here that get wiped out because of the parlay. Dylan said the Vikings will land an offensive lineman and a defensive tackle in the first hour of free agency.
Ouch. Ouch.
Ouchie.
Mike said the Gopher men's basketball team would miss the Big Ten tournament and they'd fire Ben Johnson. Oh, they're in.
They're seeded 12th, right?
That start today?
Yes, they play Northwestern at 2 p.m. on Wednesday.
Let's go.
On Peacock. So make
Make it
sure
work.
you find it on that streaming service.
Declan also had a bad week here. You a little bit of a Matamidi homer. You said Matamidi would beat St. Cloud Cathedral in the quarters of the tourney. You said DDV would have another plus 20 performance in the box score for the Wolves by this week's Write That Down. The first one was a plus like 17, and he missed a 3, I think.
It's a terrible beat.
Oh,
And you said the Wolves would acquire a former NBA All-Star before the end of the season. There's really, I don't know that there's even a path to do that. If it somehow happens, then we can revisit.
that's fine. Yeah.
It's more of like a pre-trade deadline thing. So with that, we're only a month into the new season, so small sample size alert here, but I'm sitting atop with a 429 average. Judd 200, Declan 083. Listeners still looking for their first hit on the season. The only home run is from yours truly. And then all-time stats going back to 2018. Declan, a 345 average. Judd, 321. I'm at 280. Listeners at 264. Judd with 355 career hits leads everyone. Listeners with 70 career home runs. The leader in that category. All right. Let's get our guy Tim in here. Guest listener predictor, Tim. You got to talk to the audience about these jerseys here you got behind you, Tim.
So I got a old school Corey Stringer. I believe my stepdad got that in Mankato during some sort of training camp. It's like an old starter one, so it's got some love to it. And then I got my favorite current player, Harrison Smith, hanging up. Love me some Harry the Hitman. Loved him coming off the edge and sacking quarterbacks when Mike Zimmer, dialed him up. And he's still one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find out by Friday, right? The deadline for him, just kind of contractually, to make a decision. It might be something we find out today. Add Harrison Smith to the list of things that need to be sorted out here in the next 48 hours.
Yep, that and the backup QB for sure.
Yep. So what's your background? Are you just a Vikings fan, or what's your background as a Minnesota sports fan?
Born and raised in the Twin Cities, big Minnesota sports fan, so all of them. I watch the Vikings most, Timberwolves, Wild. The Twins, I used to watch them a lot more, and they haven't really given me a reason to watch as of late. But but I still try to keep in track, with the Twins, but mostly the Vikings and T-Wolves.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love it, man. Well, Tim, we're going to start with you and then go to Judd. Dax back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room like we always
Write
do.
this down.
Perfect.
So fire away, man. What's your first prediction?
All right, coming out with the Wolves prediction first. Write this down. Wolves go 13-3 in the remaining schedule and make it to 50 wins at the end of the season.
Oh, you're on the Mackey plan. You're on the Macadac plan.
Tim, they all laughed when it was a 16-3 journey. And now it's 13-3.
Right?
And if they do, I'm telling you, not to spoil one of my predictions, but if they beat the Nuggets tonight, strap in for the path to 50.
I live in Denver right now. I can't go to the game tonight. Otherwise, I'd be there for sure.
Yeah, that's an ESPN, and they're making us wait till 9 o'clock tonight. I think it's the second game of an ESPN double.
See, this does not align with my beliefs of bedtime.
Yeah.
Your bedtime beliefs.
But Joker, oh my God! I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah,
it's
Dude,
absolutely.
He had a 30, 20, and 20 game a few nights ago.
I had to wipe my eyes to look at that again. I'm like, are you serious right now?
like the box scores are like, no, this isn't possible.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when you see a guy just grab 20 rebounds in a game, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And then 20 assists, rarely happens in the history of the league. And then to throw those two together. So he had a triple-double by the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. And then had another triple-double after that.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Unreal.
Write this down.
Give me
That's
more.
okay, though. He's going to get locked down tonight.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. You know what? Spring is here, or just about here. It's gorgeous outside. I'm feeling a little bit of baseball fever right now. So I'm going to give you some baseball stuff.
Baseball.
Thank you very much, Alex Rodriguez. Write this down. The Yankees will acquire Dylan Cease from the Padres before July 1st. Now, if you recall when spring training started, Marcus Stroman was apoplectic because he was not in the rotation, the 5-man rotation. I'm a starter. I'm going to bitch and moan and complain. And then, what happened? Guys get hurt. Heel is hurt. He's out like 2 months. Now, Garrett Cole pitched what? An inning against the Twins. Tommy John surgery. Season done. So actually, the Yankees are now shorthanded staff-wise. I think they go get Dylan Cease from the Padres.
Okay. Poor Yankees. Man, that franchise just...
Oh, it's terrible.
Just
terrible.
bad luck. You know, feel bad for them.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right, so I'll make a Twins one too. I have no intel on this. I'm just putting this out there.
Sure.
Brooks Lee will make the Twins opening day roster, but Edouard Julien will not.
I saw a couple of days ago playing first base, which, we've talked about for Julien will be a challenge. Not one, but 2 throwing errors in the same inning. Is that right?
Yeah, he's having a little bit of a journey out there in the field.
Yeah. I mean, he could barely play second base. He worked his ass off to improve. At the plate, he went in the crapper, essentially, and now they're just like, oh, just go play first base? He's glove challenged.
Yeah, it's so tough, man. He was literally one of your most important players in the year that you broke that playoff. I mean, he was hitting leadoff in the playoffs, and now he can barely crack the roster.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. Positive feel here with some more Wolves optimism. I gave you the 3-game winning streak from last week to this week's. Write that down. I think it's going to continue. So they have 4 games. That's a tough back-to-back against Indiana, though. Let's do this one. The Timberwolves winning streak, which is now 5, will hit at least 8 between now and next week's. Write that down. So they've got at Denver and then Orlando on Friday, Utah on Sunday. Those 2 are home games. And then they have a back-to-back at home against Indiana, which did you guys see how the Pacers won their game last night?
Yeah, from Halliburton.
They were down, dude, they were down by 3 points with like 3 seconds to go. Inbound, they ran a football play. They literally, so they're inbounding from like just past half court. They had 4 guys lined up as wide receivers, and they ran a mesh concept. It was literally a football play. Halliburton takes the pass, runs into the corner, launches like a falling away 3, gets fouled by Giannis, cashes the 3, and hits the free throw for a 4-point play to win the game. You got it. For anyone who hasn't seen the highlight,
I gotta go
it's
find this.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they've got Indiana as the 4th game, and it's a back-to-back, and Indiana's pretty good. But I'll say they win at least 3 more games, including the game tonight against Denver.
Write this down.
All right, Tim.
All right. For my second prediction, write this down. The Vikings will pick up either Marcus Mariota or Mac Jones for the backup QB in the next few days, I would say. But
Yeah.
I'll just keep it as they're going to pick up one of the 2.
Both fit the profile of former first-round picks that you could kind of buy low on. Although I think Mac Jones fits the profile a little better because he's younger and there might still be some untapped upside.
Time to save him.
Yep.
Yeah, Mariota might at this point just kind of be who he is, which is he's a backup.
Yeah.
Like you can, if he needs to play for 6 weeks, you could go 3-3 in those games.
You could feel all right about it. He's going to be cheap. But yeah, I would rather have Mac Jones, honestly. There might be something left in there that KOC can unlock. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and it's got to be – so it's weird because I think the parameters are this. It's got to be a quarterback who's good in the room, who's willing to contribute. But McCarthy doesn't need a mentor because the coaching staff can do that. So it's not like we got to bring in a grizzled guy to help him out. So it's sort of weird. But, I would say the KO project in QB rehabilitation school definitely fits Mac Jones more.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
All right, write this down.
Write this down.
This is a good one. There's
we'll be the judge of that.
Real good one. I think the Twins, you know what? Like the Twins roster and pitching staff is fine. The bullpen is really good. I understand why we are down on the team itself, but I do think that there's a lot to actually, like, as the season starts, say, okay, So the Twins are going to open the season with 3 against the Cardinals and 3 against Chicago on the road. Write this down. They will win 5 of their first 6 games.
Wow.
Twins are going to get off to a good start. Cardinals, very shaky. White Sox, who knows? But I think the Twins are going to go on the road. I think they're going to play, when they come back here, opening day at Target Field, they're going to be 5-1.
Is this a classic Judd Zulgad trope of let's heighten the expectations so that we can criticize those in charge if it doesn't happen?
No.
If they go 2-4,
yeah.
now you can come on and put Rocco on a hot seat and criticize Falvey's got too much on his plate now that he runs the entire organization.
I love how you're thinking. You know, we've worked now, together for 10 years. So, you know me very well. And I could totally see that. I could tell you when I put this prediction down, that was not in my heart.
Okay.
No. If I was to pick the Twins to win the Central right now, that would be in my heart. Mean-spiritedness, looking for a way to dig. But this is just, I think they're going to get off to a nice start.
You know,
games.
Dex is going to make a prediction here, and then
Write this down.
I got one percolating here on the fly. Go ahead, Dex.
All right, I need a knock here. I'm just looking for a little seeing eye single up the middle. So the Wolves are a half game out of the play-in. It's a little crowded Western Conference. Write this down. By next week's write that down. They will be a full game, at least 1 game clear of the play-in. They'll be at least the 6th seed. They'll be 1 full game clear by next week's write that down of the play-in. Right now they're a half game back of Golden State.
So they will have to, because they can't really pass Houston in the next week. So they have to pass Golden State, right? Is basically
pass Golden State and just basically stay on course above the Clippers and Kings, and they should be okay.
Yeah, it's not a home run, but it's definitely a solid knock if they were to put that much space between them and a Golden State team that, by the way, has won 10 of their last 11 games. And hell, they've won 12 of their last 14 going back a month and change. And they've got a bunch of home games right now too, Sacramento. Yeah, Golden State's probably not going away.
No.
You're going to have to catch them.
Yeah.
And pass them the hard way. Okay.
Write this down.
I'll make a classic Judd Zulgad trope prediction about the Twins here.
So you're going to put the pressure on, not me.
The Twins, we're going to have to circle back and quantify this, but the spirit of the prediction is the Twins will make a meaningful trade before the trade deadline. Write it down. And where this comes from is in the, 7 or 8 years, I think in the Falvey era, they've been contenders or better. They've either been contenders to make the playoffs or something beyond that, like the Bomba Squad team. 6 or 7 times, and they've only had 1 truly active trade deadline where they looked to really add pieces. That was 2022, and it turned out to, on paper, it was this is great. But it turned out that pitcher from the Reds had a bad shoulder. Yeah, Tyler Malley.
He's in Texas now. He'll be fine now.
Rehabbing, or is he going to?
I think
at one point he was, but
okay.
Yeah.
So I have to quantify what meaningful means, I guess. Yeah. So I'll say they make a trade for at least 1 player who has played in at least 100 career major league games before the trade deadline. Or how about this? A position player with at least 500 major league plate appearances.
Okay.
Or a pitcher who has played in at least 90 major league baseball games before. So a starter of at least 3 years probably, or a reliever with a couple years under his belt.
All right.
Like a major league player is kind of the goal here.
Yep.
And in true Judd fashion, if they don't, I get to criticize them at the trade.
And you will. No matter what, you will. You wait every year to stew about the fact that they
is
don't.
Is it too much to ask?
And I'm not criticizing you. I think you're right. No, it's not. Well, and plus, trade for a guy who's not hurt.
That's
or
the
has
other
some
thing.
lingering oh man, yeah, my rotator cuff, it sort of hurts. That's okay. We'll take you.
We'll figure it out. We'll got
you'll
Mr. Miyagi over here.
We'll figure it out. All right. We'll figure it out until you're on the operating
Write it down.
table.
You like writing things down.
All right, Tim, what's your third and final prediction?
All right, for my third one, got another Vikings one. The Vikes will sweep the Packers again next season.
Wow.
I'm
That's-
a big Pack hater. My best friend's a huge Packer fan. He was the best man at my wedding. We go back and forth all the time with it, and that's in the spirit of him, you know.
Wow.
I love that. I'm going to look up real quick here.
That doesn't not occur that much.
I was gonna
right?
say, yeah.
How
dude,
many times would you guess? Because it happened last year, right? How many times would you guess? There's a Wikipedia page devoted to,
Yes, the
I
series.
think, every game
There
they've
is.
ever played, right? Here we go.
Yes, there is.
So last year, 2017, they swept them.
2015? Because they won the final
I think
one
they
in
lost in
Lambeau.
Green Bay.
Okay.
No, yeah. They won the regular season finale in Green Bay, but I
Yeah,
think they lost
Teddy.
the home
They
game.
got smoked 30 to
Okay.
13 in the other game.
Bad.
Oh yeah.
09.
2009,
Oh no. Yep.
and then 05.
Oh, 05, wow. Wow, that was a bad Packers team.
04 they got swept in the regular season, then beat the Packers in the playoffs.
Yeah. 05 was a gong show for Green Bay, right?
Yeah,
I think
it
they
was a
were
bad year.
terrible.
And then 98. And it happened a couple times, like once you get to the early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
But in the
Packers
last
sucked for a
30
long
years, it's happened 4 times.
Yeah.
Oof.
So this would be, and the Packers are good now, so this
Yeah,
would be
for sure.
a home run if it happens.
Write this down.
Cool. Great work, Tim. Nice job. Since you've got this life-changing platform here, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get here today?
You know, I gotta thank you guys giving me the content out here in Denver. You know, there's not a lot of Vikings fans. There are a good amount, but not super close to me. But thanks for giving me the content every single day over all Minnesota sports. Gotta thank my wife, Leah. She lets me watch you guys all the time, listen to you guys in the car rides. She's a Vikings fan now. She's a Denver native, so now she's a Vikes fan. So that's good. And then I got to thank my stepdad, Lewis, for getting me heavy into the purple. Big thanks to him. And yeah, thanks again to you guys. Seriously, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Tim, thanks for the kind words, man. Appreciate
Tim.
you. And we'll definitely do it again sometime.
Right
All
on. Take it easy, guys.
All right, tubular Tim.
It's a great background.
Love it. Yep. Okay, before we make our final predictions here, you got any predictions about MSP plumbing, heating, and air?
I absolutely do. And that is the most important thing that Sports Dad can predict. And that is that if you use them, they will earn your trust. How do I know that? Because they earned mine. A couple of weeks ago, they come to my house, check out the furnace. Say, Judd, the furnace is fine. Sports Dad, it's great. The water heater, though, and the softener, not so much. And so guess what? I scheduled an appointment last week. They came to my house. They replaced them both, and they are now brand spanking new. Fantastic. Here's what I like the most, though. When they came to my house to look at things, they didn't give me the, if you don't get that fixed, it's going to be a big problem. They just simply recommended it, and they turned out to be 100% right, reliable. There is nothing more important. And now, also, if you schedule an appointment, you will become eligible for the Big Green Egg giveaway sponsored by our friends at Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Store. They'll be doing this grill giveaway for all customers that book a repair. Get $60 off any HVAC or plumbing repair, and you'll be entered for a chance to win. The medium-sized green egg, by the way, has a $1,000 value, so this is a really, really nice product as well. For service, give MSP a call, 651-615-4292, or check out their website, callmsp.com. Callmsp.com. It's all about trust in MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air. That's what they're going to build with you. So, again, callmsp.com.
Also, hey, Legit Pizza is living up to the namesake. Someone sent us an email yesterday with a photo of the frozen pizza section, salivating over the glorious Legit Pizzas, that throwback style, those pizza parlor vibes. That's what Legit Pizza brings to you. It's kind of a nostalgic, like the stone baked crust. It's legitimately some of the best frozen pizza I've had in my 4-decade career eating frozen pizza. So you can find Legit Pizzas at a store near you to have an authentic at-home pizza parlor experience. Pep's Pizza Company, Legit Pizza. All right, dudes.
Write this down.
Let's go back to Judd for your third and final prediction.
So Dex's prediction about Julian, I like a lot. So I'm going, but I feel like it's not working here. So I'm going to not to say that he won't make the roster, but by opening day, Edouard Julien will have been traded by the Twins.
Whoa.
I think they're going to trade him.
God, they'd be selling real low on him.
I'm just saying.
Be kind of. I feel like that's be a bad. Unless you think it's hopeless at this point,
right? And unless somebody thinks they can fix him, I don't know. I just have a weird feeling that he's gone from way up here to way down here. They're trying to move him to a position, and again, at second base, he struggled. He had to work hard to get halfway decent there. Now he's going to first base, and it feels like, unfortunately, in a very short time, he is the type of guy that qualifies for a fresh start. So he's going to be traded by opening day. Write that down.
That'd be bad asset management if you had a guy that was one of the better players on the team a couple years ago, and then he regresses, and then you dump him at his low point.
Unless Borgs is like, oh no, I'm out on him.
He did visit him. You went and visited him in Quebec over the off season. Spent some time with him for a couple days. He made a point to go out there. So. Yeah, I think he just needs more seasoning in AAA. Like, I don't want him to be a part-time. His bat is probably better than Brooks Lee's right now, especially against a righty, but his glove needs work. His swing up and approach needs work. I see the Mickey Gasper classic spring training.
Yep.
He's hitting like 400 in spring training. He is a switch hitter who's has destroyed minor league pitching, but I think we need to wait and see if this is just a Luke Hughes situation or if there's a diamond in the rough here.
Great mustache.
Great mustache.
Mickey Gasper, great mustache. Old school, really like it. Really solid mustache game by Mickey.
The mustache is kind of
it's back.
It came back as kind of a joke, ironically, for a while. I feel like it's almost just back now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can rock it, that's fine. A lot of people that can't, though, try to.
Yeah.
Including myself. Do not rock a good mustache.
Dex has a face for a mustache.
He's got a good mustache.
I got the scruff right now,
and I feel like you got the good upper lip for it. Like the upper lip isn't like that's the playing field for it, right?
That's
so like if you don't
stiff upper lip,
if you don't have the correct stadium, you're not going to rock a strong mustache.
That's right.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Write this
All right.
down.
I'll make a wrestling prediction here. I feel pretty good about this. Write this down. Paul Heyman, the wise man, the Hall of Famer, aligns himself with CM Punk by WrestleMania or the night after WrestleMania.
Okay. They're kind of building the story there. Yeah.
There was an embrace in the ring on Monday after Raw that caught the eye of Roman Reigns as he picked up his the OG wise man for CM Punk. Kind of caused a little stir to Roman. I'm not really sure what the long-term play is with Roman, Punk, and even Seth Rollins by Mania. Might even be just a triple threat match. But I think Punk will get his OG wise man back from Roman Reigns.
Judd, if you're Paul Heyman, the wise man, would you align yourself with Roman Reigns or CM Punk?
Punk.
You think Punk?
Punk. I love Punk. Yeah. I feel like Punk is really, really smart. I feel like he's the type of guy that, like, if I'm attaching my career on storylines and stuff, and I know that Reigns is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, former Viking. But, I think if you gave me a list of wrestlers to align with, and the problem with Punk is probably behind the scenes privately, there would be problems eventually because he seems very cantankerous.
Yeah, so far, so good.
Right. But I'm saying eventually it probably ends poorly. But for like the maximum pop here, I'm going Punk.
Okay. I mean, Punk's pretty good in the ring too. What's your favorite CM Punk move, would you say?
I like when he goes to Blackhawks games. I like when he's a big hockey guy.
He is a big hockey guy.
Big hockey guy.
He is. When WWE comes through here, I wonder if we could just get CM Punk on the podcast just to talk hockey. Jericho's dad in AEW. He's a professional hockey player too. Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
So on Purple Daily, you kind of asked if I would do a Daniel Jones slanderous prediction here. Like you did the Sam Darnold slanderous prediction because you don't. And
you took offense. I'm not going to lie. You took some offense. Umbrage.
Well, I took offense because it feels like you are rooting against Sam. It feels And I get it. Like, I'm doing the same thing with the Bears, but Sam like brought joy to Vikings fans until the end of the season.
I'm not rooting against Sam. I am looking into the future and seeing what's going to take place.
And that's what I'm going to do with Daniel Jones, who I think is making a short-sighted, massive career mistake here. So he's literally taking a few extra million guaranteed dollars and a chance to start right away if he beats out Anthony Richardson during training camp with the Colts, which, you know what? Even if you do beat out Anthony Richardson, who's one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league, is that really going to resurrect your career? Are you ready to jump back in after what happened in New York? Or should you have taken a gap year or gone to enroll at QB rehab school?
Right.
So unfortunately for Daniel Jones, here's a 3-item parlay for him.
Wow.
He's going to the Colts are going to be under 500 in the games that he starts. His passer rating will be below 90, which is kind of he'll be like a below average passer, below 90. And he will sign for less money on his next contract. Percentage of the cap, I will say. He'll sign for a lesser percentage of the cap on his next contract than the one he just signed for now. Write it down. That's a 1-year, $13 million deal with incentives.
Yeah.
Write this down.
I think that's fair. See, I'm with you. I'm with you on this.
I think sitting out a year and just chilling. I mean, dude, you could be in the league for 10 more years. What's 1 year of just like learning from one of the best in the NFL? I don't know.
And are the Colts stability? That's my question. Like if you were going to go to a place that was going to be stable and you were going to have a chance to start, I probably would say, okay, that's fine. But I don't see the Colts as stability.
It could be agent driven here too. If you're the agent, you're trying, hey, nothing's guaranteed in the future. Let's get our bag now. And if you start, they're pumping his tires, right? Dude, you could start, you could beat this guy out, and then your career's back on track. But I don't know.
Part of the problem with the Colts is, I gotta think, total guess here, but I gotta think that with Richardson and his draft position, that there's a lot of fracture internally about what they should do, right? Like, I think it's highly improbable that everyone in that building is on the same page about a guy who isn't accurate, but he was drafted high and he really hasn't played that much. Yeah. So, like, I just feel like Jones he's putting himself in a jackpot that I don't think is smart.
Judd just texted the show here, too, a tweet from Andrew Filipponi, who's one of the big talk show hosts in Pittsburgh, who says, great NFL insider Peter Schrager said on NFL Network, it could be up to 4 weeks until Aaron Rodgers makes a decision. The Steelers are, quote, giving him some space right now.
Don't get me started here.
He says, you've got to be kidding me.
Don't get me started here.
It could be up to... So is he thinking about retiring? Or does he just want a month? This is
Who knows?
Classic narcissistic Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Yappers.
I'm gonna put everyone on hold while I make a decision here over the next few weeks.
And a month? He's gonna take a month? And you're the Vikings, and you would even no.
Well, yeah, there's
no, but I'm just saying.
But to that point, because as long as Rodgers hasn't made a decision, and as long as his camp wants to keep the Vikings alive in their minds,
correct.
And as long as the Vikings don't entertain at least coming out publicly and saying, we have no interest in Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think they would do because they don't want to burn a bridge with like the agents. It's pretty rare that you would come out and say, we don't have any interest in this player who's available, right?
Right.
Because, I mean, hell, what happens if J.J. McCarthy has a setback in 3 weeks and Rodgers is still out there, then maybe he becomes available. So there's a chance that if this is true, you're going to continue to hear Vikings Aaron Rodgers peripheral steam until he makes a decision.
This is his way of keeping himself in the headlines as long as possible. And so you're exactly, it's narcissistic, it's manipulative, it's everything that I can't stand about that guy.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's your write that down predictions.
Write this down.
Accountability session.
He's a jackass.
And he's going to hopefully be Pittsburgh's jackass to try and, I don't know, maybe salvage Mike Tomlin. It feels like it's maybe nearing the end. Like Mike Tomlin might take a gap year himself at some point. Maybe they trade him after the year. I don't know. But, yeah, all right, that's the OG edition of Write That Down here. Every Wednesday on Mackey and Judd and on Purple Daily, the only shows in America that put statistics next to our predictions.